Straight up. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, my happy people? What's going on? This is my first pre recorded episode coming to you. Today is March 17th. And even though this is going off at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, I want you to know this is not me live. Currently, I'm doing something else other than this broadcast. So I just want to make sure I let it be known. I missed you guys, okay? Let me not sound cocky, right? I missed you guys. I wish I could have been with you guys a lot sooner, but there was an unfortunate series of events, and because I'm a one-man podcaster, there was no one else to fill in for me and to continue the show. But that's okay, because this show was only intended for me to produce, to be the MC, and yada, yada, yada. That's how it was designed. So it's been a week. I think it's been 9 days since my last podcast. And I knew when I made my podcast that I was going to be gone over the weekend. I had to go travel to Houston. My sister-in-law was celebrating a big milestone, and we wanted to be present. So the family and I got on the road and drove to Houston, Texas. And it was an eventful time, full of family, full of turmoil, full of adversity, full of everything that one could imagine. But at the end of the day, it was a blessing, and I'm happy to have done it with my family. So I have nothing ill to say. Only thing I could not say is this. I don't know how I developed my sore throat, but somewhere between Texas and Alabama, I told my wife I got an energy drink because she wanted to have breakfast with her sisters before we got on the road Monday. And like my father-in-law and I know, it's best to leave zero dark 30 when you leaving Houston and heading back to Alabama, because you don't want to be caught up on the 10 in Baton Rouge, because let me tell you, it gets real. And honestly, our dilemma started in Beaumont, Texas. There was a lot of traffic, and it only added to the fact that we did not leave the hotel till 10 o'clock. So long story short, we got home maybe midnight. And Texas is usually like a 10-hour drive. So we should have been home maybe like 8:30, 9 o'clock, leaving at 10. But like I said, we got there at 12, maybe a little bit later than 12. I want to stretch and say maybe like 1 o'clock, maybe even 2. The fact that it was dark and we were still switching back and forth, and that's just a testament, because usually my father-in-law and I, we just drive straight through. But we were both beat. And one thing I do know, if you give a black man something to eat, black man gonna get full, and it's gonna be harder for him to drive on a full belly. Straight up. And just so that you're aware, this episode of Going Down the Rabbit Hole with John Lee from 1983 is indeed sponsored by John Lee from 1983. If you are in the need of content creation, video editing, SEO, website building, Facebook page, social media page building, come holler at your boy, because I have the availability and I have the know-how to help you go from 0 to 100 that fast. Like 100 days, I can get you 100 people. No, but seriously, welcome back. Welcome back. That is a sponsored post made by me on camera, no cuts. I've kind of learned through the last few months of playing with this technology, using these apps. It's best to not switch from commercial break to another segment, because it will just mess up all the pixelation. So yeah, So I left you guys off telling you guys about my road trip from Houston to Alabama and how I developed a sore throat. And the sore throat was so bad that I had to go and do a teleconference with AFC. Shout out to AFC. $15. They got me together. They signed me up for some prescriptions. And long story short, I get my insurance every year through the marketplace. And for some reason, the marketplace didn't give us a credit this year. We had to go back, fix it, and now we are in the process of appealing their decision. And long story short, what ended up occurring was um, the week that I needed my insurance the most, my insurance was available for me, but they had suspended my prescription coverage and sore throat medication costs a bundle. Now, like I said, I used to be UAW, didn't have to pay for any of that stuff. But now, I take care of my stuff for the most part, and I'm in the process of getting that part addressed. But listen, I realize the value of being humble and showing humility. I was at Walgreens filling my prescription. The first day, the lady's like, "You got to pay full price." I was like, "Okay, how much is it?" She was like, "It's $30 a prescription." I'm like, "Okay, $60. Cool, no problem. Wife needs it. We're going to get it." I go back for myself. She's like, "One of your prescriptions are $70 and the other one's going to be $200." I said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa." I said, "That's a pair of Jordans." Like, if I'm gonna pay that type of money, I want to be able to wear them because that's what I equate to paying that type of money to a pair of Jordans. So she's like, "Nah, use this good RX." She's like, "Go to this website, put this in, and see if they got a generic prescription." I did it. Got myself half off, and I got one reduced all the way down to like $4 or $5. Long story short, I ended up paying like $53 when I almost was gonna pay $270. So I said, "God, thank you. God, that's part of my testimony. I gotta let people know." In addition to that, Walgreens has their own like prescription card to save you a couple of dollars, even if you have insurance. I learned a little bit about being humble and humility. So I wanted to go ahead and run that savings onto you. I definitely will move forward using good RX because I could not talk to you guys today if I had not had those prescriptions in addition to ibuprofen, which I'm a person who likes to say I don't like to take a medication unless I need it. But this week I definitely needed it, and all glory to God. I'm happy I can swallow now because earlier this week I couldn't do no such thing, and it was a struggle just to take water down your throat. That was something I did not foresee myself being in, and I'm such a pain. I'm such a punk when it comes to pain that every time I get sick, I'm like, "God, take me out. I can't deal with this. I can deal with a lot of stuff. I could deal with someone being upset with me. I could deal with you bumping into me. But if I get like loose booty syndrome and I'm coughing and hacking, I got a lot of mucus, God, I'm ready to go home." That's just me though. I don't know about you. But anyhow, just give me a moment and we're gonna get into the verse of the day and we're gonna get into my daily bread. So stay tuned. Straight up. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you. Well, the verse two, step two, step. But look though, no, for real, this is Mama Nisi's verse of the day. So let me just go ahead and give it to you like she gave it to me. 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. And it says, "Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord." Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. Hey, I like that 12:14. If you know anything about me, on 7/7, I was born at 12:14 on a Thursday in 83. Um, that's a blessing. Let me go ahead and run that back again. Make every effort to live in peace with everyone and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. So, case in point, um, one of the people I live with, see the ring on the finger, my wife. Um, I'm learning, even with being a grown man. Sometimes we like to say bait, and sometimes we don't intentionally throw out bait, but the person perceives it as bait, so therefore it is bait in our household. But it's really, really important to understand this. Um, when you learn how to live in peace with your significant other, it only quantifies everything else. Like if you can live and not have friction in your home, like that just goes over in ways in the workforce in the real world that you have no idea. Because if you can deal with the adversity that you might face inside your home, then you can deal with anything that the world has to offer, because at the end of the day you get to leave there and you get to go home. But the person that you go home to, if you can learn how to master that, that is a message. That is a blessing. That is something that I can't yet quantify. So, Mama Nisi, as always, love you. Thank you so much for the verse of the day. Please feel free to make this applicable tomorrow, the day after, and any other day. Don't be like, well, John, you just gave it to me at 8 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 7 o'clock Mountain time, 6 o'clock Pacific time, or it would probably be like 5 o'clock Pacific time. Like, so how's that applicable to today? Use these verses whenever you want to use these verses, okay? These verses might be delivered sporadically right now, but they're always a blessing when you choose to use them. So make sure you use Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14 at your discretion, because it will be a blessing and it will be applicable to you. You understand what I'm saying? Because I needed to hear that message right now, because that message is something for me. Because right now, my nephew is 4 years old and he's having the time of his life in my living room, and my father-in-law is resting after service. And my mother-in-law, I just had to show her how to use Netflix on the Xbox, because one Apple TV's held up, the other Apple TV somewhere else, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And somehow I don't even know how there was just a like that just occurred, but I'm gonna go ahead and call that a blessing as well. So you make sure you continue to like this content, because I'm gonna keep on giving it to you guys, regardless if I have a strep throat or not. And I really can't say it was a strep throat, but I will tell you this: it was a sore throat, and it was a blessing to go through and live through, because now I'm drinking tea even more often than what I was first drinking tea. Because I think what really happened and what really caused me to be sick was this: I have a travel toothbrush. And that travel toothbrush don't get the same standard as the standardized toothbrush I have in my home. My toothbrushes in my home, they only 60 days. If I get one of them cool ones with the mechanical rotating spinning tops, I gotta get a new one in 60 days or I can't use it no more. That's the game. That's the law. That's what I adhere to. But them travel toothbrushes, I might have traveled with that mother sucker way too long. And excuse me for my wording. I should not have said mother and sucker in a combination. So forgive me, and God continue to work on me. And I'll be right back with dun, 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 my daily word, straight up. So I want to tell you guys a true story. Today is March 17th. The last time I opened up this book and read this book to you guys was March 8th. Life be lifing, and I'm no exception to that rule. So let's go ahead and get into it. And guess what? I always tell you guys this: God is always on time. So the verse for today, no lie, comes from Hebrew, chapter 13, verse 16. I just read y'all chapter 12, verse 14. Let's see what it says. It says, "Do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifices, God is pleased." Amen. And the title of this daily bread is "Look Out for One Another." Having good neighbors is vital, especially during difficult times. Just ask Minnesota farmer Scott L. He was seriously injured in an auto accident when he tried to avoid hitting a puppy and swerved off the road. Doctors said he couldn't return to work for several months. This meant he won't be able to harvest his crops, his only source of income. Once the word spread in town, local farmers rallied to harvest his crops for him. Mr. L said, "I'm lucky to live in a community where people have always looked out for each other. Caring for one another is what believers in Jesus are called to do." Reflecting Jesus' sacrificial love, the writer of Hebrews reminds us to not forget to do good and to share with others. Because of our appreciation for Christ's death on the cross, we can demonstrate the depth of our love for Him through good works, kind and practical actions that benefit others. Living for others and sharing our resources with them are sacrifices that are pleasing to God. As God provides what we need, let's choose to keep on loving one another as brothers and sisters. Through hospitality and caring for all people, we live out His commands to truly love. Love that. Now, let's get into the questions. And that message was brought to us by Marvin W. What does it mean for you to love others the way Jesus does? To me, it means to sacrifice and give to others my best, either my best effort, the best I have to offer. I would never want to give somebody something I no longer valued. Case in point, my cousin, um, we had a conversation with my father-in-law, and I said, I got this bedroom set that I got from my girls no more than 2 years ago. My children are 17 and 15. They outgrew that bed. Yeah, just put it to you, they outgrew that bed. So I said, I would really like to give this bed to someone, but I really don't know who to give it to. So I try to offer it up to my neighbor. Like, yo, I can help you move it over. He didn't need it. Cool, cool, cool. I ended up offering it to my cousin. And just yesterday, my daughter and I, we drove up North Alabama to deliver the bed and the mattress and give it to them. Subsequently, while we were giving it to them, I realized that I didn't have all the pieces, and I tried to look up like the instructions online. Long story short, I told my cousin, I said, "Look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm go back, find the rest of the pieces. I'm gonna come back and try to build this bed for you over the course of the next week or so, because I want to give you a complete bed. I know you're grateful for the bid that I did provide to you, but I want to give you a complete bid." So, in essence, I think that is how we look out for one another. She was happy, her kids were happy with it. I was happy, but what I really want to do is give her the bid how I would want someone, or how I envision giving the bid to someone. Um, that's not to be boastful or anything like that. I'm not saying that to brag, but I think in so many ways, looking out for one another is something I kind of have in my thing 24/7 to do, especially in my community. I'm a black man, so anytime I see an opportunity to help out another person, human being, first and foremost, I'm all for it. But do I try to help out my own community? Yeah, because I know what it's like to be a black man living in America. So, who would I be to try to make their life any more complex than what it has been for me at times? So, yeah, uh, I'm really really happy with the word of the day, and I'll be right back to you guys. Share some thoughts with you guys, straight up. A couple days ago, I was scrolling through Instagram and I looked up and I seen my sister-in-law had some pictures from the event. And in the pictures from the event, my whole family was excluded. And I said, I never asked for anything. I just want to be included. I love my marriage and I love my wife's side of the family. So when those offenses occur, and not saying that I don't do something or I haven't done anything to earn any type of uh malicious look or something of that nature. It's just the growing pains of life. I told my daughter the other day, she says, I feel like I'm trying. I said, that's good. That doesn't mean that what you have tried is sufficient. And even though you tried it, that does not mean that you don't have room to grow. Meaning that just because you feel you're good doesn't mean that that's going to be good enough to maintain. You got to constantly keep pushing. You got to constantly keep developing. Um, we live in a world now where I, as a freelance entrepreneur, don't need as many people as I once needed because AI is here and AI has taken the need to have a virtual assistant and literally squashed it. Only thing I got to do is be organized and structure my day in a way and do what I can do. And that's like kind of how like I see this whole thing. Got to keep on trying, keep on persevering. I love my wife, I love my family, I love the family I have now, and it just requires more and more. And who am I to say that I am um a person who does not need to endure? No, I have to go through my own season. And hopefully, when I get done cooking, the end product is something to be desired. And all of this that I have experience won't be no more. And who's to say years to come, we all take group pictures and it won't feel awkward. It'll feel more authentic. And, we'll all have conversations. And no, it's not at a point to communicate this over. It's not that deep. I'm just going to continue to pray on it. But I wanted to make it relatable because there's a lot of people who have blended families, and then the blended extended family as another layer. And that layer can be penetrated. It's just going to take time. Take time, energy, and positivity. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much so for being part of this broadcast. I want to thank you guys for staying with me, rocking with me. I appreciate it. Now that my throat's better, I'll look to be a little bit more engaged than what I have. And until the next video, this is your boy, John Lee from 1983. You guys know when I'm